Adam for It's Tea Time 210. Doing this video outside even though it's a really shitty day. I don't know if you can see, but it's really gray and crappy. It's not usually like this, and of course the sun's right in my eyes. But anyways, I'm making this video because I forgot to make a video last week, and so I'm trying to catch up on that and do the video that I was late on this week. And just a lot of things happened at once. I've got this new kitten that I'm sort of fostering to try to find it a home. And there's a shit ton of kittens next door that I'm trying to rescue, so I've just got a lot on my plate right now. Anyways, the topic last week was hormone blockers, and what I wanted to talk about with that is, yes, I would have taken hormone blockers had I been able to express myself, and I would have loved to have that option when I was a child. If you had given me that option when I was like 7 or 10 or 11 even, I would have jumped wholeheartedly. And I think that hormone blockers are a great thing for the youth of the population. They allow children that extra time period to figure out what they really want before they're irreversibly going through a puberty that they wouldn't necessarily choose. Whoa, it just keeps getting brighter and brighter. So I guess I'm going to take this inside. Bad time of day for this shit. Okay, so now I can see a lot better. So yeah, I think hormone blockers are a great thing for trans youth and children to give them an extra amount of time to make their decisions and to stop some of the drastic problems that we've all faced through puberty from happening. By taking hormone blockers, biological females will prevent the onset of puberty, thus preventing monthly periods and growing breasts and all that type of stuff, and males will prevent growing facial hair, growing very muscular, their voices deepening, that type of thing. So I think this is a really positive thing and a great thing for the trans community. I think that, like I've said before, the most important thing is education and allowing people to have access to this, and allowing both informationally and physically actually being able to get on hormone blockers at a young age. So as long as both of those things are going on, I think it's great, and it's a choice everyone and everyone's family has to make for themselves. So obviously at 10 years old, you can't really control what your parents do or don't, and they're doing in the interests of your well-being. But like I said, I think that hormone blockers are great because um, they prolong being a child and allow the child to get to the age where they can actually make a decision for for the opposite sex's hormones to make them feel complete, or whatever they need. If they decide that they want to be the biological gender that they are, they can go back and go through late puberty. There's nothing research-wise that suggests that that's impossible. So yeah, that's for topic week 50. The topic for week 51 is in a similar vein, talking about trans youth, and why do I think more kids are coming out. And I think that's primarily an education issue. I don't think that it is that there are more trans children, although I do question that sometimes because I'm really into politics, and there's been quite a number of environmental factors that have changed our genetic makeup. You could simply look at somebody who's the body or the bones of somebody who was born in the 1200s or in the 1700s, and physically we appear very different than them. That's true at least in this country. There might not be that might not be as true in other countries, but we seem to have rapidly increased in size and build and a lot of things. And I wouldn't be surprised if there is an environmental factor to being trans. Similarly, like hermaphrodites and that type of stuff. I'm not saying that that isn't a natural phenomenon to occur. but I wouldn't be surprised that it being more and more widespread would have something to do with an environmental factor that we're not necessarily aware of. There's the whole thing of that little boys in certain areas, because of the water they drink, can develop breasts and have to have them removed. And that's because their bodies are pumped full of estrogen, and there's not enough testosterone to combat that. So they go through almost a female puberty, in a sense. At least they develop breasts in that way. So I wonder how much of it does have to do with a chemical imbalance, but I think that primarily there have been and there always will be trans people. Regardless, I think maybe increases could be due to industrialization and due to our messing with natural and biological factors that might encourage our genetic code to go one way or another. Um, However, like I said, regardless of that, there are always going to be trans people in the world. There's no way of stopping it. Just like there's always going to be, hermaphrodites, and the potentiality for that. I do think that the education has a lot to do with more and more kids coming out. When I was young, there was no information about being biologically female and transitioning. Now there's a lot more, so I'm not surprised that 5-year-olds are finding the vocabulary and being very insistent on it because they know it's a possibility. They're not thinking that they're just crazy, which is what I thought, and I'm sure some other of us thought for a while, or thought it's just an impossible dream. Um, but it's not. It's very possible, and it makes sense. Some people's brains are wired differently. Whether that's because of chemicals in our brains or how that actually like biologically occurs or psychologically manifests, I'm not really sure. I just know that between the ages of 3 and 5, gender is pretty much set within a child, and if it's set male and their body is female, that is going to be a problem. And the more ways we have to address it, the better, regardless of the potential environmental factors that play a role. Um, so yeah. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention was about milk. They've done studies proving that kids that drink a lot of milk that have bovine growth hormone have gotten bigger, and it's sometimes messed up with their hormone balance. So yeah, no, I just wonder about that. But I will see you guys next week. I will really try very hard to be on time. I apologize. I have really good intentions, but sometimes life doesn't always work out. So I'll see you guys next week, and take care. Peace.